Well, good afternoon, folks. Finally got around to some sort of video update, and I've had quite a few goodies for my. I won't name the my sort of rough age at the moment, but birthdays come around yet again, so I had some goodies from my family and friends and things. So I thought I'd just give a glimpse of what I've picked up, and knowing me, it's all hobby stuff. I've only got the one book today, Monte Cassino. I haven't read any of his stuff before, from Matthew Parker. I've read a book on Monte Cassino before, so this is going to be an interesting one. Yeah, look forward to reading that. The bridge I picked up for myself, really. It's Warlord's 28mm stone bridge, an old, I think it's like an old Italeri kit, or I'm not sure if they made it just for them, just for Warlord. With the Tiger tank that Italeri do, it's actually a older set that's been sort of reboxed and stuff, so I'm not sure what the history of this bridge is, but it's a really nifty, I think it's like 5 parts or something. It was snap fit. I built it up in about barely 10 minutes, I think it was, and I've just primed it grey now, so I'm going to give it some black and brown washes. I think I won't even bother with using strong tone and things. I think I'll just use it, but I've got some thinned down black paint, some little bit of flow improvement, some brown paint, and see where that gets us. Just want it to look nice and weathered, maybe some dry brushing, maybe a little bit of a green wash down. I've seen that on the box art, some green wash as like some moss in the crevices and things, and I think that's going to come out looking quite nice. Just going to let it dry before adding washes. There's even some texture on the underside, which was quite a nice, unnecessary, but nice bit of detail. The piece de resistance, if you will, 3 boxes of Perry Union Infantry. I suppose you can do your Zouaves as Confederates or Union, but I've just been looking at the info sheets and things, as always from Perry, really good. I bought the American Civil War Zouaves, box of just regular Union Infantry, and then these are the newer set American Civil War Infantry in sack coats skirmishing. So a lot of goodies there now. I haven't really been following people's videos as much as I should. I had a bit of hassle with I've saved up for myself as a new gaming PC. I had hassle with the one that arrived. It was, I don't know if I'm really meant to name companies and things, but a well-known, do we say hardware in the UK? Not really. This was a shop for appliances. It's a very big company in the UK, and yeah, I didn't have much luck with that. I paid full whack for it. It was near £700, £800, and the specs were all good. Really what I was looking for. But it arrived damaged, and there was like a green screen, and it didn't boot up and things. It was a bit of a disaster, really. I'd been looking forward to that. So it's going to have to be back to the drawing board. I'm hoping to get a full refund from that, and yeah, have a little think. I might go with a company I've had a really good experience with in the past. Is PC Specialist. They're really good, and they can do. I've just had an email from them now. They're very polite, and they'll do whatever for you, really. They'll get out an old PC and put in new parts, or they'll do one from scratch for you, and they've got their ones, I think, that are a bit more pre-made that they tend to sell as well. I just want a no-nonsense computer that can run a lot of the strategy games I fancy, and I'm a big fan of the Witcher books, and I did sort of enjoy the first season on Netflix, but yeah, big fan of the books, and the first and second game I sort of played to death as well. But they're quite graphically intense. Well, at least Witcher 3 I've heard is quite intense, so it needs, well, for you who are clued up, it's all the video RAM, isn't it? It's the size of the graphics card and things, so definitely going to invest a bit into a decent PC setup. Anyway, I'm probably boring you with that. It's mainly a Wargamers channel. Two other slightly older Osprey books from eBay, and I've got the colour plates, of course. These are on the Hussars and the Line Chasseurs. I'm actually painting up some Line Chasseurs now. I think they were called Chasseurs Cheval. I think Chasseurs generally term kept for, was it light infantry? And then these were meant to be, they did carry sort of musketoons and things, but these are your light cavalry really. And I was reading in John Elting's Swords Around the Throne. The Chasseurs de Cheval were like an economical alternative to the Hussars, because the Hussars were of course light cavalry, but they were in their resplendent uniforms and quite expensive upkeep, you know, for the Grand Armée to keep up. These are in a sort of plain dark green jacket. I'll just give some more light on those. Sorry about the slightly different camera setup and everything today. I've cleared my desktop desk because I was waiting for the PC to arrive and things, and that hasn't come to, well, that's had to be sent back, so yeah, as I said, a bit back to the drawing board with that now. But I've got the little painting desk set up, I've got my paints and brushes and things. So I've just been adding little things to these. I had put the base colours, I'm sure I did some washes and highlights on the horses before, but I've spent the last few days just doing the riders. Still not quite finished on them, there's always a little bit more to do with cavalry. All the metal work is done on them. I think I need to do the white on the, what do you call it, the barding, or the detailing on the headdress and things, and there's some rank distinctions and stuff to paint up, and I haven't done the sabretache on the officer. Have finally painted up a white sock, an isolated white sock on a horse. It's a start of greater things, hopefully. And just some subtle white on his nose there. And something I've wanted to do for a while. I've actually wanted to do it for 2 years, and I've just never. I think it's with horses. I was like, I've got it painted. That's enough, you know. But no, I do like adding little bits of details in them. I've got the bugler there in a sort of light blue tunic, which I think is well, I say proper. I think it is the proper dress for the regiment with the orange facings, and the orange I haven't really managed to do a brilliant job of. This is sort of a bled out orange, I suppose, for they're on campaign, and I need to do the orange facings on the tunic as well, but I've done the chevron on the sleeve. The Rowan horses still looking a little bit glossy. I think it's because of the wash I've used. But the black and dark brown ones I've done, I'm really happy with. The horse I'm most happy with is probably the white horse, I think. Because with that I went from, yeah, lots of layers on that, and mixed in with sepia, well, I used sepia shade as well. It's looking a bit rough and ready, but after some highlights and some fine tuning, I think that unit's going to be ready to be based up. First unit of light cavalry I've done, I think. I'm not sure what I'll call them. They are Chasseurs de Cheval. I have to admit, I didn't consciously choose a facing colour because of some specific regiment. I just sort of went with them because I fancied them. I saw there's quite a famous painting of a Chasseur. No, that's actually not. Is it Chasseurs? No, it might be. No, they're the Line Lancers. I wanted to do the orange facings on them as well. So yeah, nothing too historical there, it's just something I fancied really, and the more I read into the various battle orders and things in Napoleon's battles, it's like very intimidating. I don't think you can sort of realistically, at least in 28mm, paint up, you know, all these different regiments and different facing colours. For, you know, there's cuirassiers, there's carbineers, there's you know, the Hussars alone, you could spend a lifetime painting them up in 28mm. That's just when we're just talking about the French. And you've got the Austrians, the Russians, the Prussians. I think I'm just going to do a little bit of everything. I think I've got a decent French force. Thinking I might do some. I saw a video on Napoleonic Wargaming was doing a really good video on converting Russian Was he doing Russian Hussars or Russian? I don't think they were Cuirassiers. It must have been Russian Hussars, and yeah, really interesting. He was cutting off the sheepskin and adding green stuff to do more of a sabretache, I think. Not sabretache, sorry, the saddlecloth. So yeah, that was an interesting little conversion, and I know the Austrian cavalry are coming out and they're doing the... I don't know if I'd go for 3 boxes, a bit of an overkill for me. I probably... Especially with that setup, when you can do your cuirassiers and hussars, and you probably do your dragoons as well from that box, I think. Probably is a worthy investment, but I don't know if I'd buy like 3 boxes of lancers or French lancers, you know, just for a metal kernel. I'm not convinced that I would do that. I'd probably just buy a metal pack of officers if I wanted them. Something to think about. Anyway, and it's good that they're making these Austrian cavalry. I get the impression they were much needed, really. I do actually have a box of the Austrian infantry. That's yet to be done. But this American Civil War project is going to, I think, take up most of lockdown and keep me going. And I think my productivity is going to take a hit if I start on the PC games again. There'll be hundreds of hours spent on that, but it's all good to keep you sane, isn't it? So yeah, I'm going to finish my cup of tea and maybe some highlights or maybe some reading. I do fancy that Monte Cassino book and the Fallschirmjäger. There's always too much to keep you hooked in this hobby, which is always a good thing. And yeah, nice. I don't usually do terrain, so the stone bridge is at least something for me. And yeah, I think that's it for now, folks. I will try and keep catch up on the videos. I've got some time now, next couple of days, and I'll have a look at what everyone's been doing. Thanks again, folks. All the best. Ta-da.